Welcome to day 26 of my road to 2000 yellow journey in chess. So I already recorded my game for today, but two really dumb things happened. One, it was super short. Like the game itself was like 6 or 7 minutes, I think. And then I took like a couple extra minutes to review. And then I went back and watched it, and it turns out my audio didn't pick up at all, which I figured out was because I plugged my mic into the wrong port on my PC. um which I didn't know. Like, I have to figure out why it works in that one but not the other one I had it in. So I fixed it, it's good now. uh what else? Yeah, this is the game. It was so fast, and yeah, I won 16 moves. It wasn't much, but I guess now I have an excuse to play again. I wasn't going to, but let me just get into the new game. I'm not even gonna bother with that game. It was very uneventful. My opponent was just not playing super well. But I get a redo. I get another game, more practice. And also, I don't know. It's my Wi-Fi is very weird right now. They are working on the lines. Like I saw a Spectrum truck, and I use Spectrum sadly. Uh, I'm gonna take a queen. I can come out now, I guess. And now I protect the pawn and pawn. Next is knight c6, and then I'm not gonna long castle. Is taking now a good idea? Because if I don't take, I lose a pawn. Could have taken. I wouldn't have minded because you lose your center pawn. So sort of a positional advantage. But they didn't take. Next I'm gonna play, oh, now they did. F6, try to chip at the center. And if they don't take, it's fine because I can then take and the knight is defending. So they would probably want to take, yep, and then I can castle. They traded off their light squared bishop, so it's not like they can attack these two pawns very easily. They can push this, but then I push that. Gonna castle. I do want to be careful though. This is kind of a weakness. They still have their queen. I don't like this pawn. I'm gonna see if I can get rid of it. Maybe bring the rook over and then move the knight out of the way somehow. Maybe I can set up a battery in the future. Boom, boom, boom. But I have to get rid of this pawn first. But I don't think that's gonna be possible. I can push and push, or push and push, and take, and then I lose the pawn maybe. I like pushing. I'm gonna push. It seems a little scary because no, but why is it scary? If I have control of the center, I might as well take up more space because I want to push this because then it kicks out their knight and then I can Okay, push. There's two things I have to consider. Push, take. Okay, first is what if bishop takes? Then I recapture. And then he can take here, he can sack because I can't take back because my queen is undefended. That's why I thought about bishop takes first. One more time. If I push to threaten the knight, He can take with my knight first. And then if I recapture, this knight can take my pawn on e4 because I can't I can't recapture because then I lose my queen. So pushing is not an option at the moment. So I'm gonna maybe move my queen out of the way, I think. I'm sure he sees this. Why else would he have played that, right? Okay, but what if I push and then he takes? I would have to... Because then he gets 2 pieces and I get... yeah, I would be down 2 points if I ignore the bishop. So let's move the queen here. That way, now I can push this pawn. The only thing is I'm leaving this pawn weak. Okay, I threaten. Now I can do that. He's got to respond to that because if he doesn't do anything about this and then he can't move it out of the way, he loses the bishop. Okay, I can do that so that he can't come here because the bishop is covering that. And since I'm attacking his knight, he's got to move it out of the way. Here, take, I'm up a pawn. He moves it here, I'm going to be up a pawn. And I'm attacking his rook. And then my pawns can just keep advancing, honestly. I would probably push d4. And my bishop's not going anywhere. And then I'm threatening this too, so if I... Do I want to take with the knight or the... I'm going to take with the knight so that my bishop can stay on. He's got to move the rook out of the way. And now let's think about... okay, let's say he moves the rook out of the way. Can I take on f2? That's with check, so he's got to either move out of the way here or here. He's going to move here. And he's not going to take with the rook because that would lose a rook. Because I have this set up. So let's say he moves here and then I can slide over so that my bishop is no longer pinned to my queen. There's so much going on. This is already way more interesting than my first game. I just want to make sure taking on f2 isn't a mistake. What the heck? So he's just giving me that. Okay. He can't even attack me with the rook because of that. Bishop takes on f2 is still a threat. Man, I'd be so mad if my mic stopped working again. The only reason it stopped working at the first place is because I cleaned out my entire PC, so I unplugged everything. And I kind of forgot where I plugged everything in initially. So I just put it wherever. It's all USB stuff, all USB ports. I didn't think that would make it stop working like that. Okay, I'm not in the clear yet. I still have to figure things out. This bishop is super powerful. It stops him from playing rook e1 because of taking on f2. I'm thinking about maybe rook here, queen here. He'd probably want to trade off queens, take, but then I always have f2, so this bishop is already doing a lot. I'm gonna play this so that I can lift it over because I don't see any move immediately that's better for me. This pawn is pinned. If he slides over, then I slide here. Hmm. So I'm gonna go ahead and threaten mate. What's he gonna do about that? He can push, but then I can take because this pawn, I mean this bishop is pinning the pawn to the king. So this bishop, I'm glad I put it here. I'm glad I took with the knight. And I always hear time and time again the bishop is worth a little bit more than the knight, and that's why. So I mean he's just exposing like everything. I'm thinking about rook f3 now. And then if he comes here, I can give check. He's forced onto like h1 or g2, and then that's discovered attack, and I win the queen. So let's think. What counter does he have against me playing rook f3? Does he have any? The only move I can think of for him is to play king h2. But if king h2, I have rook, bishop e5 check. I don't see a counter. I mean, he can also sack the queen for the rook. But I think this is just, that's just GG. I really don't see how he would counter that. No, I don't think he can counter that. Oh, he can counter that. He countered that. But then don't I have sack, take with check? He comes here and that's just mate. That's mate. No, wait, okay. Take, he doesn't have to take back. He can come here, but then again, check. Okay, hold on. I gotta really calculate this line. I take on g4. H takes on g4. That would be losing because queen takes on g4 again, and then king slides over wherever to h2, h1, and then rook h3 mate. But now what if rook takes on g4, but he doesn't recapture and he moves instead to here, check, he moves here. Because if he moves here, that's a discovered attack, right? And then I can win the rook at least. So let's do it. That's because yeah, he moves out of the way here. And then I can just give that check. And then I always have this discovered attack. Ooh, dang. That's game. That should be game. That should be game. I am curious to see what would happen if he didn't take back with the pawn. I'm very curious to see. That's just game. Oh, that was infinitely better than the game I played before. That was bravo. Thank you. I can't review. I actually shouldn't have wasted my review. I wasn't planning on playing another game. But I think I can still do the free one. The free version, yeah. So let's do it. Caro, kann. Bishop blocks, trades. They wanted me to take. I didn't take. Because again, I don't really mind them taking. Yeah, that's just a fair trade. What about here when they defended? So that was not terrible for me. I thought it'd be like a minus maybe 0.5. But I wasn't. Okay, now them taking is minus 0.5 for me. But yeah, I don't mind. Also having that open file, it came in clutch. So that helped me out a lot. Sliding the rook, and then I did push the pawn. Did I take the pawn? No, I don't think I took the pawn. Why didn't I take the pawn? Because I was calculating all sorts of, I just wanted to push on e4. Okay, this is what I was saying when I was like yapping before. This is what I was saying. I was saying push, then take, and then take, and then that. And I can't take because I lose a queen. That's what I was seeing. But push, take. The reason I didn't play this was because, oh, hold on. What if they take my rook? Oh, that's just bad. I didn't see any of this. No, I wasn't. I thought me taking with the pawn instead of dealing with the bishop, taking it back. Okay, here. Jeez, wow. Wow. Okay, yeah, that's just a whole other line. But I already mentioned what I was thinking of. That was not because I thought after push, take, I thought this would be bad for me because I thought, okay, I take, and then he takes, and then I take, and then I take, and that's just bad for me because yeah, look, I'm down like 6 points. I thought I'd be down 2. I went wrong somewhere. Oh yeah, because he gets 2 pieces. Wait, no. No, that's what I saw. That's what I saw. And I was like, still, that's bad for me. Okay, I'm getting way too lost in that. Anyways, I didn't take the free pawn, and I'm glad I didn't because the bishop served a way better purpose later on. And then I pushed. He took. He played that. Just gave. Oh my god, that was just terrible for. And he played that. I don't know what that was. Did he think I was gonna take with the pawn and then he gets the bishop? No. Sliding the rook over was the right move. Yeah, and at this point, well, what could he have played to save himself? Yeah, I was thinking, why didn't he offer the queen trade? Oops. Yeah, this pawn's under attack. Ooh. Ooh, okay, yeah, no, I just had a huge attack, huge initiative. Whatever the keyword is, I had it. And yep, I found that. Found that. Oh, that would have been a brilliant, wouldn't it have? Is it? Ah, no, I regret not having the game review. Can I not see the... That's sad. That's so sad. Yeah, that sucks. But I think I'm gonna call it a brilliant. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. Maybe it's just an excellent or a great. I don't know. But yeah, way better game. Are very close to. Hold on, very close to 1400. Got about 2 games if they go my way. But anyways, thank you for watching. That was a good one. Till the next one.